Roller coasters are incredible thrill machines. Millions of people flock to amusement parks all over the world to ride some of the greatest rides. Everyone gets strapped in. We're counting down the best of the best amusement parks for roller coasters in North America. Starting off at number 15, we have Silver Dollar City. This top 5 includes Time Traveler, a Mach Extreme Spinner, Outlaw Run, an RMC Topper Track Woody, Wildfire that gives incredible views, Powder Keg, and Thunderation. Silver Dollar City only has 7 roller coasters, which is really the only thing that's holding them back from being ranked any higher on this list. So I give them a 5 out of 10 for quantity, 8 out of 10 for quality, and 7 out of 10 in terms of variety of the roller coasters that they offer here, giving an overall score of 20 out of 30. As for super elite coasters at this park, which I'm defining as potentially a top 10 roller coaster in the world, I don't think Silver Dollar City has any. Coming in at number 14, we have Six Flags New England. The top 5 rides at this park seem to be Superman the Ride, Wicked Cyclone, Batman the Dark Knight, Thunderbolt, and Joker. This park has an incredible top 2 with Superman and Wicked Cyclone, but the park's lineup doesn't go very deep. You know it's bad when a Vekoma Boomerang and an SLC almost make the top 5. This park has 11 roller coasters, giving them an 8.5 out of 10 in terms of quantity. Quality, I give a 6 out of 10, and variety of the coasters, I give a 7 out of 10, giving an overall score of 21.5 out of 30. I could see both Superman the Ride and Wicked Cyclone being a potential top 10 roller coaster. Number 13, Dollywood. Top 5 roller coasters at Dollywood are arguably Lightning Rod, of course, Thunderhead, Wild Eagle, Mystery Mine, and Tennessee Tornado. Along with Silver Dollar City, Dollywood definitely focuses on quality over quantity. With 10 coasters, the quantity is pretty decent. This is counting Big Bear Mountain, but a lot of these roller coasters are family coasters. The quality is really awesome here, 9 out of 10, but the variety is a little bit lacking. They definitely need a few more roller coasters to widen and deepen the lineup. Overall, a 23 out of 30 for Dollywood. And Lightning Rod is a potential top 10 roller coaster. Coming in at number 12, we have Canada's Wonderland, with 17 roller coasters at this park. Their top 5 include Leviathan, a B&M Giga, Behemoth, a B&M Hyper, Yukon Striker is a massive B&M dive coaster, and then the rest of the lineup is pretty subpar. Vortex, a aero suspended coaster, and Backlot stunt coaster I have rounding out the top 5 at this park. This park has an awesome quantity of coasters with 17, giving them a 9.5 out of 10 score, but their quality is definitely lacking. After the big 3 B&Ms, Leviathan, Behemoth, and Yukon Striker, there's a lot of subpar roller coasters at this park, which is why I don't have it ranked any higher. Overall, it's a 23.5 out of 30. I don't think there are any super elite rides at this park, but if you're a huge dive coaster fan, then Yukon Striker might be in your potential top 10. In 11th, I have Six Flags Fiesta Texas. This park seems to have a really underrated lineup in my opinion. The top 5 being Iron Rattler, Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster, Superman Krypton Coaster, Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, and Goliath. These coaster names are so long at this park. Fiesta Texas has 11 roller coasters, giving them an 8.5 out of 10. Their quality is pretty good too, 8 out of 10 in my opinion. They have decent variety, bringing their overall score to 24 out of 30. Iron Rattler is a super elite coaster at this park because it seems like a really good RMC and how it interacts with the quarry wall. Breaking into the top 10, we have King's Dominion. The top 5 roller coasters at King's Dominion include Intimidator 305. This is an Intamin Giga coaster, arguably the most intense roller coaster in the world. Twisted Timbers is an RMC that has incredible airtime. Dominator is 3rd, and it's a pretty decent B&M floorless coaster, but after that, it really drops off from there. In 4th, I have Flight of Fear, and then Racer 75. King's Dominion has a total of 13 roller coasters, giving them a 9 out of 10. This park has probably one of the best 1-2 punches of any park in the world with I-305 and Twisted Timbers, both of those being super elite rides, but it really does drop off after that. This park could definitely use some more supporting coasters, but nonetheless, this is a huge bucket list park and destination park for any roller coaster enthusiast. Number 9, Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Their top 5 being Pantheon, Apollo's Chariot, Verbolten, Griffin, and Alpengeist. Like the other Busch Gardens parks, they seem to prioritize quality over quantity, which is fine by me because it makes some really awesome custom roller coasters. Pantheon is a potential super elite coaster at this park. There are 10 roller coasters at this park, including Dark Coaster, which is opening in 2023, so I give them an 8 out of 10 in terms of the quantity of roller coasters here. You definitely want to come out here to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. They have such a high quality of rides. There's really not a bad roller coaster here, which is why I'm rating the quality so high. Overall, 25 out of 30. Coming in 8th place, we have Carowinds. The top 5 there being Fury 325, a B&M Giga Coaster and arguably one of the best seal coasters in the world. Copperhead Strike, a mock multi-launch with some awesome hang time and air time. Intimidator, which is a B&M Hyper. Afterburn, a B&M Invert, and Nighthawk, which is a Vekoma Flying Dutchman model. There are 14 roller coasters at this park, which is a really solid number, giving them a 9.5 out of 10. The quality is really good overall, so I'm giving them an 8 out of 10. Outside of the top 4 at this park, the lineup isn't super deep. There's some pretty rough coasters here that can give you headaches, but Fury 325 alone is worth the trip to this park. You've got to come out to Carowinds and give all of these coasters a ride. Overall, I give them a 26 out of 30. There's definitely some room for improvement, but an awesome roller coaster park for sure. Cedar Fair seems to be investing a lot in Carowinds, and it's going to be a really great park for the future, so expect them to be moving up in placements in the next few years. At number 7, I have Busch Gardens Tampa. The top 5 at this park being Iron Gwazi, one of the best RMC coasters in the world, Montu, which is one of the best B&M inverts in the world, Kumba, which is a great B&M floorless, Cheetah Hunt, SheiKra, and an honorable mention to Cobra's Curse. Again, they're definitely focusing on quality over quantity at this Busch Gardens park. Because they don't have too many coasters, the variety is lacking here a little bit, but the quality of the rides here are easily 10 out of 10. Definitely worth your time coming down to Busch Gardens Tampa to ride Iron Gwazi alone. A lot of people say that this rivals Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point for the best RMC and their number 1 overall roller coaster, so it's for sure a super elite ride. And if you love B&M inverts, you could add Montu here to this list too, because it's almost universally considered the best B&M invert. So I give Busch Gardens Tampa an overall score of 26 out of 30. Moving up to number 6, we have Six Flags Great America. Their top 5 being Raging Bull, Goliath, Max Force, X-Flight, and Viper, in my opinion. There are 15 roller coasters here, and this is one of the most well-balanced lineups of any park in the country, if not the world. So I'm giving variety easily a 10 out of 10 for this park. Raging Bull is a really decent B&M Hyper if you sit near the back. Goliath is a fun, albeit short, RMC, and Max Force has the most intense launch of any coaster in North America. So there's a lot to offer here. This park has a B&M Wing coaster, it's got multiple great Woodies, it's got a Hyper, they've got an inverted Batman, they have a 4D free spin in Joker, they've got a flying coaster in Superman Ultimate Flight. There's just very few things that this park does not have. The only reason this park is not ranked higher is because the quality, in my opinion, is lacking a little bit. In my opinion, they don't have anything close to a super elite coaster at this park, which is unfortunate, and that could be remedied in the next few years. For now, this is where I have Six Flags Great America ranked. An absolutely incredible park for roller coasters. You have got to make it out here. Overall, 27.5 out of 30. Breaking into the top 5, we have Kings Island. You could honestly flip-flop Kings Island's and Six Flags Great America's rankings depending on what you value. Six Flags Great America has a much better variety in terms of what roller coasters that they have there, but I think Kings Island has a much better quality. I prefer quality over quantity in my opinion, so I'm giving Kings Island the edge here. The top 5 roller coasters at this park, in my opinion, are Diamondback, Orion, Mystic Timbers, Banshee, and the Beast. They have 14 roller coasters at this park, giving them a 9.5 out of 10. The quality is really solid. They have one of the best hypers in Diamondback, a decent B&M Giga in Orion. It's still a Giga coaster, so it's a good ride in my opinion. Mystic Timbers is one of, if not the best GCIs. Banshee is one of the best B&M inverts. The Beast is an absolute thrill and journey throughout the woods and is an awesome ride. Excluding the kiddie coasters, there really isn't a bad ride at this park at all, which is why I have the quality at 9.5 out of 10. The one thing Kings Island could really use is a little bit more variety in terms of the manufacturers they go with and the kind of rides that they build. If Kings Island gets an awesome, unique roller coaster where Vortex used to stand, then they could vault up into the top 3 potentially. Kings Island does have a lot of elite coasters, but in my opinion, they are missing that super elite ride. You could consider Diamondback a super elite ride if you're a huge fan of B&M Hypers, because Diamondback is one of the best in my opinion, especially if you're near the back, you get incredible airtime. But there still is a little bit of room for improvement for Kings Island. Overall, an amazing park with amazing coasters, definitely deserving of this top 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, we have Six Flags Great Adventure, El Toro, an Intamin prefabricated wooden coaster, Kingda Ka, an Intamin Strata coaster, Nitro, a B&M Hyper, Jersey Devil, an RMC single rail, and Batman the Ride and Superman Ultimate Flight ultimately round out the top 5 coasters in this park. They have 14 roller coasters here, which is really solid. Their top 5 is so well rounded, and they have some extremely awesome roller coasters up near the top. Kingda Ka is still the world's tallest roller coaster. Nitro is a really solid B&M Hyper. El Toro is arguably one of the best wooden roller coasters in the world when it is operating. El Toro is definitely a super elite coaster, and if you prefer tall and intense launch coasters, then Kingda Ka could definitely be in your potential top 10 too. Six Flags Great Adventure has a really solid lineup and some awesome high quality roller coasters. I give them an overall score of 28 out of 30. Before we get into the top 3, I'd like to go over a few honorable mentions. Kennywood would have been number 16, just behind Silver Dollar City. They have a great lineup here, but lack the quantity and the variety that other parks that I've listed in this video. One more solid coaster here that gives a little bit more variety to the park, and I think Kennywood would jump a few spots into this list. They have awesome rides there like Phantom's Revenge, Steel Curtain, and Jackrabbit that you definitely don't want to miss. Six Flags Over Georgia I have at number 17, and Six Flags Mexico at number 18. Both have some really good coasters and decent variety, but lack the quality compared to some of the other parks on this list, and they just missed the cut. SeaWorld Orlando would have been number 19, but with only 7 roller coasters, they are just missing more quantity and variety to make the top 15. There are also a ton of smaller parks and parks with awesome roller coasters like Holiday World and Knoebels, but they just don't have the quantity or the variety to make this list. So don't be discouraged if your local park was not mentioned in this video. Finally, getting into the top 3 amusement parks for roller coasters in North America, at number 3 we have Hershey Park. Their top 5 being newly announced Wildcats Revenge for 2023, Skyrush, an intense Intamin ejector airtime machine, Storm Runner, which is an awesome Intamin launch coaster, Candemonium, a really solid B&M Hyper, Fahrenheit being another unique and really cool Intamin, and Great Bear as an honorable mention being a really good B&M invert, make this park have some awesome roller coasters. They have 14 here, so I'm giving them a 9.5 out of 10. They've got great quality, quantity, and variety. They're just slightly behind some of the other parks in each of these categories, which is why I don't place them any higher. But there are 2 super elite coasters at this park, I predict. Wildcats Revenge could be a potential top 10, and Skyrush as well. I know Skyrush is very polarizing because the restraints are really bad, so some people absolutely love this ride, and some people totally hate it. I personally haven't been on it, but it's definitely a potential top 10 for some people. Coming in at number 2, Six Flags Magic Mountain. This park has the most roller coasters of any amusement park in the world at the moment, with 20 of them. So they easily get a 10 out of 10 in terms of quantity. With 20 roller coasters at this park, of course they have a really great variety too. What they are lacking a little bit is in terms of the quality of the roller coasters from top to bottom. Twisted Colossus is an incredible RMC, but it does take away a little bit if you aren't dueling, but it still could be a super elite ride if you are under optimal circumstances. X2 is also really intense. It can be rough from what I've heard, but it's one of the most incredible and crazy roller coaster experiences most people have ever had. So X2 can also be considered a super elite ride. Rounding out the top 5 at Six Flags Magic Mountain, I have Twisted Colossus, X2, Tatsu, Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. Then there's a pretty steep drop off after that in my opinion. And then Apocalypse or West Coast Racers. Their total score coming to 29 out of 30. There's only one park that I determined to be better than Six Flags Magic Mountain. And coming in as the best roller coaster park in all of North America, of course you guessed it, Cedar Point. The top 5 at this park being Steel Vengeance, one of the tallest and longest RMC conversions. It's an absolutely incredible ride with a long ride time and really great air time. Maverick is an intense, whippy Intamin launch. Millennium Force is an Intamin Giga that has an incredible showcase of speed and intensity. And after that top 3, there's like 4 other ones you could choose from to round out the top 5. Gatekeeper is an awesome B&M wing coaster. Magnum XL 200 has some really strong airtime and some jankiness if you like that. Raptor is one of the best B&M inverts and has really intense inversions. And Valraven is one of the tallest and best dive coasters in my opinion too. So this park is completely stacked. And your top 5 might look completely different than somebody else's depending on what you value in a coaster and because there's so many good quality coasters here at Cedar Point. If they add anything on to Dragster's old layout, then Reimagined Dragster will probably easily crack back into the top 5 as well. There are 17 roller coasters at Cedar Point. I'm going to knock them a little bit because they don't have as many as Six Flags Magic Mountain. And this 17 number is counting Wild Mouse and the reimagined Dragster that will both be open eventually in the future. But in terms of quality and variety, again, this park is 10 out of 10. It's absolutely awesome. You've got to take a trip to Cedar Point, spend a day or two there, because it usually gets really crowded at this park. And I have 3 roller coasters here, potentially being super elite. I have Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Millennium Force. If the reimagined Dragster gets anything else added onto its layout, then I think that's a potential super elite ride as well. So there could be 4 roller coasters that are super elite at Cedar Point, which is absolutely bonkers. And if you love old arrows with a lot of airtime, some people have Magnum XL200 in their top 10 overall roller coasters, which I think is a little crazy, but I know a decent amount of people that do. Cedar Point has a leg up on a lot of these other amusement parks because usually when they add new rides, they are record breakers and absolutely incredible experiences. Almost every ride that's opened here has been some kind of record breaker or has been monumental in the industry. That wraps up the best roller coaster amusement parks in North America. Make sure to comment down below, what are your top parks in North America for roller coasters? Or what is your biggest bucket list park? Do you agree or disagree with any of my rankings? These are just my opinions, so you're allowed to have your own opinion too. Just please be respectful about it in the comments and share them down below. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure to check out some of my other videos like the top 15 roller coasters built by B&M in the world, and check out the park review videos for a more in-depth analysis on everything about a park, not just the roller coasters. Make sure to like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more coaster content at least twice a week. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the ride.